Oh, that ended so abruptly.
Banger of an intro, though, still, nonetheless.
I'm hoping that song doesn't get struck because I want to use it for something else. Very catchy. So, it was from Reddit, so I think I'll be all right. I guess we'll see. So, how is it going?
Oh, it's going. Nothing happened. Nothing at all happened. Nothing ever happens.
Oh yeah, I'm back to the free StreamYard for now because they're charging $45 a month for that crappy service. It's like, you gotta be kidding me.
Nah,
I do not feel I'm getting $45 of service from whatever they do.
I wouldn't know what it's like to have the StreamYard logo whenever I create content.
Yeah, I
Obviously,
mean,
I joke.
the premium's useful to store and record, but
Yeah,
I
yeah.
I have clip champs already, so
Oh,
I'll
okay.
just use that.
Yeah, you're fine.
So I figure, geez, it's been what, 2 weeks since I did a video.
hmm
Jesus. So
Well, you did say though that it's busy days for you.
I'm getting murdered
temp-wise.
at work. I am so stressed.
Yeah.
I started Monday with a road trip to a troubled area, and it was like a 13-hour day. Then we had to move. So can you see all the boxes behind me? Probably. Well,
Mm-mm.
there's a
Okay.
bunch of
Yeah.
boxes behind me.
Yep. Yep.
So they moved us out of our office. We had to pack our shit. I had to move it on Friday. We go to a temporary office area, and then they're putting new cubicles in. It's like,
Mhm.
it's been a mess. All my like office stuff is behind me, like on the floor, until we get our new cubicles in. Oh, anyways. So here we are. Trump won. Holy,
Everyone panic or celebrate, whatever you want to do.
I it was I thought I had said, and I thought it was going to be a blowout, but either way, I just didn't know which way. But I didn't think it was going to be close. That whole narrative of this will be a close election, I'm like, I don't believe that. You know, either the Biden people will come out to vote for Harris, or they won't. And if they didn't come out to vote for her, she was going to get murdered in the election. So that's what happened. The people that came out for Joe Biden didn't come out for her. So she I think they showed some stat like she literally underperformed almost every county in the country except for like a handful compared to 2020, what Joe Biden
Yikes.
did. She underperformed across the entire country in every shape or form. And even like this looks like she won, like even her blue state winning was not like he gained ground in every blue state, I think they said, except for like Massachusetts or something. But like all the other New England states, he gained, dominated her. So, yeah, it's funny because I said I'm a Democrat registered. I mostly vote Democratic nationally. Locally, it's kind of 50-50. But then someone's like, you're lying, aren't you, on Strongman Stream? It's like,
Oh yeah, I saw that.
obviously I can't record my vote. You're not allowed to record in a voting place. You're not allowed to have recording equipment. So I don't know what to tell people. Like,
Yeah, what gain do you have from saying what you're saying,
I know
one way or the other?
I could have just not said anything and said it's not your
Yeah.
business. But
Yeah.
I thought about it long and hard, and I decided like the day before the election I was voting for him. I hadn't really made my mind up, but once we got to the end, I'm like, it was pretty clear. I'm like, I don't know how you could have voted for Harris. There was nothing to her campaign. She was just a suit, right? She'd done nothing. She had done nothing for me. Like, her campaign didn't seem like it helped me at all. Like, I didn't know what her purpose was. Like what was she going to do for the economy? It just seemed like her message was, I'll just keep doing what Biden's doing, keep the good times going. And then like they would ask her hard questions and she would just waffle on it, right? And I'm like, I don't forget, like, when she first became vice president, she went to the border for immigration and she did nothing, right? It's like Biden just got her away from him so she would leave him alone. And she went to the South America and said some ridiculous crap. And then her chuckling all the time, her constant laughing, I can't stand her. The immigration issue was a problem. She couldn't overcome like inflation, man.
No.
In the end, I think that's just what killed. I don't know if any Democrat would have had a chance, except like I think Chris said really, the only Democrat might have had a chance was like Michelle Obama. Like maybe, like other than that, I just don't know how they could overcome. Like you're not overcoming this.
Yeah.
Like crippling inflation hit America the last 2 years. Like there's just no way there's no president surviving this. Like, and you can look at presidents that don't win their second term, which let's face it, this was Biden's attempt to be a second term president, right? Just because he didn't get to the final vote. I mean, he was fully intending to run. The people that said he didn't plan on running the second time, it's nonsense. But like, George Walker Bush or George Herbert Walker Bush, right? Yep. Lost because of a recession at the end of his first term. Jimmy Carter, the 70s struck. Like a lot of these presidents that don't get a second term, it's very like you can look at like economic factors were the number one reason they didn't get reelected. Trump, I agree with what Chris said. I think he would have been reelected in 2020 except for COVID. Oh, I don't say that. Don't want to get demonetized, but the debacle of what happened with lockdowns and stuff. Like if it was just normal times, he would have been reelected. So like Biden was never overcoming the inflation the last few years that we saw.
No one from that party probably would have.
Do you think this helps? Like, oh, it's downtrending. This doesn't help anybody.
No.
The fact that like, during his term, this happened. This is terrible. Like people were really hurt by this. And they was like, well, unemployment's historically low. It's like, yeah, but your wages aren't keeping up. Your money's going not as far as it was in the past. Like people were being hurt in this country, and it didn't seem like they did anything to help. So this destroyed any shot he had of being reelected. And she was part of the problem too. So, and she had no message different than this.
No.
So it was just an empty suit running for president. It was, if they had an open primary, maybe they would have had.
That was actually one of the questions I wanted to ask was, do you think things might have been a little different had they done something along those lines? But
like if there was an open primary, let's say Biden had said, I'm not running for reelection. Let's say he said that last year. And then he goes, I'm not going to pick my successor. So you said open primary, right? Mm-hmm. So that's implying he's not going to pick a successor. I mean, who's the contenders that you think would have come out of that process, right? Like Gavin Newsom, Gretchen, was it the Michigan governor, Bernie Sanders? I mean, maybe Bernie Sanders was the Democratic counter to the Trump movement, and they crushed him. Mm-hmm. So they didn't let him flourish, but he was reaching people in the working class that hadn't been reached by the party, but they didn't let him, they crushed him, Hillary Clinton and her goons. So I don't think it would have made a difference.
Yeah.
I don't know who they could have run. They were screwed. And here, look at me. I voted against them, right? I hadn't voted. Last time I voted Republican was John McCain for president. But I don't know what they do. They need to get away from these. Like, think about who she went to when it got to the very end. Who was going to her rallies to talk for her? Like, it was like Beyonce, Cardi B, Mark Cuban. Like, it's just the wrong messaging when they tell you they're the working class party, and then they just roll these people out. Like, that's who they were rolling out, and it was such a mistake. And Trump had the richest man in the world on his side. You can't. That runs a friggin' social media network. So that was hard to overcome. But oh my goodness, who is here?
Oh, some of the usual faces.
Holy crap! What is
God? No, everything all right over there?
I seen what Fabio sent. Holy shit!
Oh, I muted that one temporarily.
I'm gonna get distracted. Okay. All right, what was I gonna show? I thought this was interesting. We can get off election soon enough. But so this person, I spent hours. So this person worked in a Democratic phone call center, calling people actually. So let's see. First type of voter he encountered, as he volunteered at a Harris phone bank. Ones that were purely focused on the economy. I don't know how you would win those people over. Like, what could you tell them? They can see the inflation issues that hit America the last year and a half, right? It was right there. So I don't know what you could have defended. Do you think a low unemployment rate across the country helps that guy when his grocery bill is getting more expensive and he can't pay his rent and his gas is going up? It's like he doesn't care what you have to tell him. He doesn't care about the bigger picture. He's being hurt. So that was a person that I don't think they could connect to. People can focus solely on the economy. They weren't going to get those votes. Um, Small business owners would talk about the price of gas or bread, rendering any attempt of explanation of global pressures responsible for that for the ineffective at best and were at worst condescending. So you can't rationalize. You're trying to provide bigger picture rationalizations to a person, and he's like, I can see in front of me the economy's not doing well, and you're telling me I'm wrong. So that would have been a tough hill for them to overcome. There was no easy counter to this, as this guy had said. The next group of voters extremely focused on Harris as a candidate. She was a baggage-free as a vice president could have been. I disagree with that. She had
Same.
baggage.
Yeah.
She was a failed presidential candidate. 2020. She had a very questionable streak as the Attorney General of California with incarcerating people and was it drug possession?
Yep.
So
Yep.
saying she's
People have
baggage
not like
free,
that. Yeah. No,
that's a
that
little
is
ludicrous by these Democrat people. I was told Harris was a communist, clueless, and that she had thrown black men in jail for carrying a blunt. Yeah, there you go.
yeah. And set the baggage.
Yeah. Her perceived failures on this is the funny her perceived failures on the border. See, he's not even admitting. He's stating that this is why people didn't like her, but he won't. This guy's writing this like he's not accepting these as realities. She failed at the border. The whole thing of her going to the border was clownish because he wouldn't go to the border at the very beginning of his presidential, run. Let's see what else. See what other thing. Gender did play a role. Time and time again, voters, very often women, told them that they just don't think America is ready for a female president. I think I talked about someone had told me that like women I don't know why people think women would vote for other women to be president. It's like actually not really true.
I've
Women get catty
mentioned
as hell, and women will not vote for another woman to be president.
I have mentioned that I've had some exes that have indicated as much, and this was like back when early days or early rumblings of Hillary Clinton running. Not
People
even like
said they
her
couldn't
actual
see
run.
her in the chair, asked if it was really thought a woman could run the country. One person memorably told me that she couldn't vote for Harris because you don't see a woman building skyscrapers. Okay. I mean, it's just a fact. I don't know if America's ready for a female president. They've tried to shove two of them now down our throats, right? In the last 3 elections, both failures, complete failures of candidates. So I don't know. It's just the cold hard facts of where we are. And then this was an interesting article. I am a black man from North Carolina. I did not vote, and most of the black men I know did not vote. So this was 6 hours ago. So now we talk about like big picture, just the messaging of her campaign it just didn't work. And blame whoever you want. She didn't have enough time. Apparently they'd say, everyone's racist that likes Trump, but their messaging sucked. All right.
Oh yeah.
And to me, it sucked. Like nothing, there was nothing in their messaging that made me want to vote for her. I always vote. So I had to vote for their side. But a lot of people probably did the thing where they just didn't go. And if you go look, her total voting numbers are way down from his. So the truth, just a lot of people just didn't go.
Yep.
Because they didn't care. This guy, one of the people didn't go. Life in a poor black community is remarkably consistent. So to him, he doesn't see a difference between times. Democratic Party does not care about us. They just want our votes. That's how he feels, right? Local Dems have been playing in our faces. So he can recognize he thinks they're disingenuous with what they're saying. They just want him to vote, and they don't really care what his problems are. That's his opinion. I don't want to say that. We do not like how Dems represent us in forms of media. So they're not getting to someone like this. And it's funny, though. someone in this first guy, I'm a white guy from North Carolina. I want an authentic dialogue. Curious what a candidate would need to be able to do to achieve a vote from people like you. So his response, a candidate that would push fundamental system-wide change would get me excited. Bernie might. Bernie.
Agree
There
or
was,
disagree with Bernie? Yeah, like
this is the time of popularism candidates.
yeah.
And the Republicans went with Trump, and the Democrats had a guy that could counter that type of energy in Bernie Sanders. And they chose to squash him. And it's too late. It was too late this time. But like you said, if it was an open primary, he could have run again. I mean, he ran the last 2 times. So if it was an open, maybe he would have run. And who knows if he would have won the general election. But like this guy here, he's like that's at least someone that could have excited him, right? Like a possibility of changing what his day-to-day life is. So here we are. See what comments we have.
Bitcoin.
Oh, Lockheed Martin. Goddamn right.
Banger of an intro. I still stand
Show the country chart. Oh,
by that.
I
County
did.
chart.
Oh, wasn't that the county chart? Oh, wait, can I change it?
It's statewide, but I don't know if Google offers the granularity necessarily.
Yeah, can I do? I don't know if I can. I sure I could find it. This one? I don't know if I can change it to the county map one.
Don't know.
Let's see. County map. I don't know why. Can't. No, I can't get it.
Yeah, it's fine. You already touched on it on the intro of
It's
like the vast majority of the counties were decidedly against her.
Yeah, terrible.
To say the least.
See, I predicted the exact 312 2 weeks ago. Almost kicked out of a Democratic friend's family's house.
I don't get it. Like when because I predicted that Trump would win the first time around, not because I necessarily wanted to see him win, but it's because like I just legitimately thought that he had the shot and people were too cavalier on writing him down.
Harris couldn't run from her past in California. No. Like that one guy's like, oh, she was a baggage-free candidate. Like,
yeah, it's like no.
You're kidding yourself if you think she was baggage-free. You're kidding yourself.
Yeah.
No. And can we stop running candidates from California? For God's sakes, let's stop bringing politicians from California to the national stage. Nobody cares. Nobody wants any of these people from California. Oh. Show 25% approval rate. Yeah, she was the historically most unpopular vice president. Like the first 2 years, I remember they used to dog her about this. Like most unpopular vice president ever. Worse than Dan Quayle. Like worse than anybody. Charlie Munger says inflation destroys society. It hurt. I mean,
it certainly does hurt.
For them to whitewash, because they wanted the message that unemployment was low and the stock market was high. Well, there's a lot of people in this middle part of the country, and that dude in North Carolina, like that didn't give a shit about that. Mm-hmm. Oh, you should be doing well because unemployment's down. Like, what is that? That doesn't matter to you. You know, how much was your grocery bill? How much was that tank of gas for your truck? So they totally missed it. I think their messaging sucked. Messy. I don't watch soccer.
Yep.
It's not talked about a lot, but I think the idea to tax unrealized gain hurt Kamala too. Yeah, that annoyed the hell out of me that they even talked about that. There's no possible way you could implement a system of taxing unrealized gains. Like it just shenanigans. Like could they make changes where you can't take loans on your stocks and then use those loans to live off of, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, fair enough. You could do something like that.
Yeah.
That's what these billionaires do anyways. They take loans out on their stocks so they don't actually have to sell them. You could do some sort of cap and restriction on that type of activity. But yeah, just the nonsense of saying you're going to tax unrealized gains. So how's that going to work? So you're going to tax unrealized 30% up. Okay, what about the next year if your stock goes down 30%? Are you going to give all the money back?
I'm gonna give him a credit.
Right. How is that going to possibly work? There's no the other thing, how would you even legalize that? There's a constitutional amendment for income taxes, right? You'd
Mm,
have how can you just make up a new type of tax like unrealized capital gains? You can't just make that law. There's no amendment. Like it would get thrown out and fought over in courts for so long. But it doesn't matter. It's pointless. Republicans would fight this to the bitter end if they ever tried to make this a law. And it's nonsense. It's complete nonsense to even try. Like to administer. Like how would you even administer that? Like the
yeah.
system's not even created to like manage unrealized gains as a taxable. Well, it's not even a taxable event, right?
Mhm.
But like that goes against our whole theory on taxes, the way they stand today. So it was dumb. And to say, oh, we'll only do it to people that the uber wealthy, this doesn't matter. That you still fail if that's your message to us. You think Americans would actually vote for Bernie socialism? That's the question. I think
I
any parts of the country would probably not vote for Bernie Sanders because of his messaging and his past. I think he would struggle in the South. That was his big problem, I think.
yeah. I like, just from my point of view, I disagree with Bernie on when it comes to like economic policies. But that being said, I part of me thinks that he probably would have had a better result than Kamala.
Because let's say
Maybe it's
he would
hindsight
have
bias, but
like okay, she lost the entire South. So if you're
yeah,
saying he's weak in the South, but he would have won, let's say the Midwest and the West Coast. I mean, he would have. I don't know. You could do the math, but if he won Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, I don't know if that's enough. He might have. It's tough though. There's a
yeah,
lot of parts of the country that just don't agree with that type of.
mhm,
Like we don't want to be a socialist country. Like we just don't.
yeah,
I don't either. I'd go back. I mean, I'm half Canadian. I could move home. I don't want to move home. Uh, Tim Walz. Yeah, I thought, dude, that guy. I didn't even know who he was till she picked him. But when she picked him, I got okay. He's from the Midwest. She needs to win the Midwest to get this victory. I got it. But then he started like talking at like campaign events, and I'm like,
yeah,
that's a goofy ass dude.
yeah,
He's just a weird, goofy guy. I just like I think she screwed up. But again, would Ben Shapiro have helped her? Like even if she won Pennsylvania, it wouldn't have helped.
yeah.
Um, and that would have probably had other problems because he had some campaign donor issues, I guess. So I don't know. Do vice presidents matter? Like I don't know if vice presidents really matter. If Trump wasn't running, do you still think it would have been a landslide? I mean, it would have been Ron DeSantis, right?
Probably is
If
my
it would
guess.
have been Ron DeSantis, and then they would have probably run Biden. I don't think there would have been as much pressure to get Biden out of the race if it was DeSantis. Um, yeah, it would have been close. It might have been close. I think DeSantis is like he's like a policy nerd. I don't think he just doesn't make those connections like Trump does. So
Ah, okay,
I don't
that's
know
fair.
how would he do nationally. We don't know. Like it's kind of a mystery. He didn't do very well in the primaries. He wasn't even second, right? Nikki Haley came in and knocked him out. So yeah, I don't know about him. Can another pulled off big win. I don't know who else the Republicans have though when Trump's done after this term. Um, it's going to be interesting. I don't think it's any of the obvious people.
Yeah,
I'm not going to say it's like Marco Rubio or something.
I think
Probably
it'll
going to be
be
someone out of left field we're not expecting.
I think it'll be interesting to see where the coalitions fall with each party going forward. But
Mhm.
yeah, I'm not sure.
Tim Walz is a nice guy. Oh, nice guys finish last, I guess. Oh,
Yeah.
just a goofy, weird guy. California, not actually socialist. Wait, what does FWIW mean?
Uh, I'm
Hmm.
bad with my
They did screw.
abbreviations.
It's like it looks weird wonder if YouTube screwed up what he
For
was
what
typing.
it's worth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The font is weird on his text.
Yeah.
I wonder if he's foreign. The Trump campaign used podcasts to make appeals to males. Vivian's great communicator. Come on, let's stop all quick. And yeah, like so you skip Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan gets to 40, 50 million viewers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you go to Saturday Night Live, which gets like what, 2, 3 million people for a stupid skit when you could have sat down with Joe Rogan for 3 hours and actually talked about real issues. What a disaster. And for them to say, oh, yeah, we'll do it, but you have to come to us, Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan is a much bigger person in every way than freaking Kamala Harris. Are you kidding me? Like, in every way, he's a superior human being in America and it reaches more people and is more wealthy and affluent. And you're going to make him come to you? Get out of here. Ron was overhyped. Yeah. I mean, the Republican Party, I think the donors wanted DeSantis, but not the people.
Yep.
And then the people decided we don't, the donors don't run these parties. J.D. Vance and Vivek are the future. I don't know, but the Vivek guy's weird as hell. Like, I don't know. I'm not a Republican, so I think he says weird, nonsense sometimes just to get like popularity and views. Weird feeling about Vance. He's kind of an unusual guy. That's all I'm not reading his book or anything.
No.
Vance is a grifter. So yeah, Trump's got a lot of to overcome though. I mean, inflation's going down. Rates I think we've peaked at it, but it could come back, and Fed's dropping rates now. So we'll see what the stock market keeps going up or not. It can't go up always, but
no. But did you have any more points on the politics topic, or
not really?
All right. I just had one little wrinkle of the question, which would be it seems like Trump, and maybe he does fit in the picture going forward, Elon, have taken some shots at Jerome Powell. I believe his term is up comes up for consideration, what, the 26?
26.
Yeah. So I don't know, do you think anything might get messy around there, or no?
What did Jay Powell say? He won't resign if he's asked?
I think so. I think like I saw a Forbes headline where it's like,
get out of here. Come on.
yeah.
You think he's going to withstand Trump? Get out of here.
Like
no.
it is a point of interest.
Trump will pressure him out.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Within
No,
the first
I've no
year.
doubt about that. Yeah. It's just,
or they'll say, all right, I won't attack you constantly on Twitter if you agree to leave by like sometime in 25.
Yeah.
So yeah, he is not making his full term. He can say whatever he wants. I don't care. He's not making full term.
Yeah,
Trump will get him out.
I just found it was funny though that like Jerome Powell originally was picked in a manner of way back when, and now it's come to this.
He will pick someone that will listen to his decision making on rates.
Yeah.
Like it's that simple. I mean, there's no there will be very limited independence during Trump's administration on this. So I don't want to get into if that's good or bad. But like, this was interesting. So this is his 10-point agenda that he put out in a video. I think like 2 days ago. So it's kind of a policy note from Trump so far. And we know his chief of staff is. That's all we know so far.
Mm-hmm.
Reissuing a 2020 executive order, reviving Schedule F. So federal employees, designation would make thousands. Okay. This would make thousands of government employees at will, allowing shift or removal of staffers. So it's his fight against, unionized government workers. All right. That doesn't affect you and me. Unless you work I don't work for the feds. So purging intelligence agencies of alleged corrupt actors. Okay. I mean, we know like the intelligence agencies were spying on the Republican Party. So he's going to fight them. Overhauling FISA. That doesn't matter to me. Establishing Truth Reconciliation Commission. Who cares? Cracking down on leaks. Okay. That doesn't matter. Separating Inspector General's office from departments. They're supposed to be independent. So that's not terrible. Establishing independent auditors for intelligence agencies. Okay. we've been fighting this for a long time, that these intelligence agencies track our own people, during the wars on terror, even though they're not supposed to. Magically, they are tracking us. So keep fighting that. So decentralizing the federal bureaucracy. I thought this was an interesting point. He wants to literally move people out of Washington, D.C. and relocate some of the departments out of there. Cool idea.
Yeah,
I
I could see merit to that.
mean, it's not terrible.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
might help.
Mhm.
Maybe there was an attempt to do this under George Pataki in New York. So I don't know if anyone cares, but George Pataki tried, and he did. He started moving some of the state agencies out of downtown Albany into the country. He did it not for this reason. He did it for economic, because state jobs bring money and economic activity. So he was putting various offices in less well-off areas, trying to spur economic activity. So closing resolving door between bureaucrats and private companies. This is an interesting point.
Yeah.
Which I don't think anyone disagree with. People that work at the SEC, then they go work at Goldman Sachs, right? Or something like that.
Mhm.
So this would, I'm totally, if he can do this, this is a great idea. You shouldn't be able to just jump ship from being a regulator to the people you regulated. So agree with him. Imposing congressional term limits. I did not see him doing this. Very interesting. So now here's what if he tries to impose a new constitutional amendment that restricts congressional terms, but also gets rid of the 2-term limit on presidents?
That would be an interesting.
He's going to do
My
it. He's going
guess,
to try. He
I
will try. And people
my
are going to tell
suspicion
me
is
for 4
uphill.
years he won't.
Yeah,
Whatever you say, he's going to try and get rid of that amendment to the Constitution to be president for life. And this is how he would do it. He would pair it with this, because this would be a popular thing to put in there. So we'll see. But you'd have to have Congress be on board with
Yep.
basically, terminating their own jobs.
Yeah.
I don't know. It'd be interesting 4 years. So it's funny though, because I don't know if I necessarily agree. Why can't you have a guy that you like be your representative in Congress for like 30 years? I don't necessarily agree that we should have term limits on Congress. So that's it. I think executives should have term limits because they do have very important powers, right? An executive, which would be like a governor, a president,
Mhm.
a town director. I think executives should have term limits, but not representatives. I don't agree with that at all. So that's my opinion. All right.
Very ambitious.
Now we go, here is what Trump 2.0. Any comments? Let's see. I feel like it'd be 99, 2000, market overhauled and exited for Republican takeover. I'm pondering selling a lot of my positions. That is the choice you make. Warren Buffett is bailing on a lot of stuff too. So I love all the people that are trying to rationalize why Warren Buffett is selling all his positions. I'm like, how do you know? Like it's just guessing.
Yeah, I don't talk with Warren Buffett like
I know.
on a
Why
regular
was he
basis.
trying to avoid these potential increases in taxes? I don't think. Maybe he just wanted to clean out the freaking closet. Who knows, right?
Mhm.
Maybe he just wanted to set the table for the next guy that's going to run Berkshire. I mean, we don't know. I don't draw any to draw any conclusions beyond that. Those type of things, oh yeah, Warren Buffett's predicting a recession. That's what he's doing. Okay, which is funny because he didn't mass sell stocks in the last recession.
Yeah.
What do we got here? I started
Yeah,
watching your on the short report. Haven't finished, but I already tell it's very informative. Keep it up. Ooh.
yeah, the side
Which one?
project that Andrew and I have. It was the one where like I didn't take play in it, but turns out that like upon further digging, it seemed like the short report was unjustified and there was potential cause for trade on the long side, which people may or may not have taken part in. And I think I want to say they realized the gains, but I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. I haven't like really monitored that one closely. It's just one of those things to like get the good old research juices flowing and go through the motions.
Trump did say when he was running in 2020 he will try and negotiate a third term. He's going to do something. He will try.
Yeah.
Will it work? I don't know. Because if you remove that, you could have a Democrat. Like if you had another Barack Obama, you're never beating him. Like he would win every time he'd run for president. So if you're going to do it for one guy, it's going to go for the other side too. Term limits also discourage anything getting done. You spent 8 years trying to educate new reps on the different intergroups. Yeah. Yeah, I would say so. Executives, I would agree on term limits, but not representative positions in government. I would be fine with that. So, like in New York, we don't have term limits in New York. I could have been stuck with Andrew Cuomo for like 20 years. I was stuck with him for 12 years. One of the worst people possible.
Oof.
That it was actually ruining my life to some degree. The way he treated our union, like disgusting. I will never forgive that person. I would, man, if I ever met him, I would fucking, I wouldn't, he's a big dude. I would just tell him to F off probably. Yeah. Oh, Pocho, like Cuomo's like, dude, he's like 6'3", I think. He's a big guy. I was close to him once at a conference I was working. He's like he looks like a football player almost. Oh. All right. So we got, what is Trump going to do? Obviously, this is all, he hasn't like put out a plan yet. So this is all other people ideas. Cutting taxes. He's talked about this to death. The original 2017 tax plan is expiring in 25 for individuals. So he's going to have to negotiate it. So we'll have to see if Congress goes completely to the Republicans like it did back in his first term, 2016. That's going to affect what kind of tax plan he can do. What else? He talked about dropping the corporate tax rate down to 15, which is like the recognized minimum worldwide. That's kind of, there's been agreements that that's like the accepted minimum tax rate amongst a lot of countries for corporations, 15%. So I don't agree with 15. I mean, there should be a premium of some sort for America, I think. But so maybe it'll be something between 15 and 21. Tariffs. I mean, come on. We'll see. I mean, if Democrats take the House, this tariff stuff, I doubt it. But I don't know. Everyone's going to be a tariff expert. You watch. Meet Kevin is going to tell you all the ins and outs of how tariffs will affect your life, right? He will draw all those graphs and tell you exactly what's going to happen. So
let's see with
international trade expert, real estate, stock market, technical analysis, macro cycles. Meet Kevin. He just does it all. He's a genius. They can't beat the market though. But
wonder if Elon will have an opinion on that one.
Will Elon take an actual position? Because someone told me if he takes I don't know the nuance, but if he takes some sort of government position, I guess he can sell his stock to get into compliance with federal requirements for civil servants. And it's like he gets preferential tax treatment for this. I'm going to have to dig into this more. Maybe it could be a separate video if this is true. So like hypothetically, he would get a cabinet position and then it requires him to get rid of his Tesla stock, but then he gets to save on taxes or don't pay taxes on it. I don't know. I'm not going to look into it right now.
Yeah.
But why would he do that? I would not take, it'd be crazy if Elon took an actual position in the government rather than just some advisory thing, which is fine. Government debt. Does anyone care about the government debt? Let's be honest. No one cares about that. Of course, cutting these taxes is going to cause the debt to go up a lot. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody in this country is like, oh, what about the debt? There's no anti-debt people in this country at this point. It's two parties. One party likes the debt and one party loves the debt. It doesn't matter.
But they both take turns on seeing who can make the debt bigger.
No, it's since George Bush. Yeah, well, there was 1 year that we had a surplus during Clinton. I remember it was big news. because I was in high school. Ever since then, they're all just debt people. It doesn't matter. Immigration. I don't think immigration was the big number one thing for people, but it was up there.
Mhm.
Watching, geez, these people cross the border nonstop, and then they get bussed up to freaking the cities, and like it caused New York City's budget to freaking balloon. Billions and billions of dollars spent on immigrants that were showing up on like by busloads. So, I mean, we'll see how he puts an end to that. He did the first time, but you could say, did he really curtail immigration in 2020, or or was it the pandemic and before that?
Great thing is time will tell.
Yeah, stricter limits on immigration. I mean, we need to fix immigration, but nobody seems to want to.
Mhm.
Some sort of path to citizenship in America, and then you follow this path, you do everything it's supposed to, and if you don't do all those things you're supposed to, then you get kicked out, back to the starting point or something, and then you're paying taxes and fees while you're trying to come to a country and do it right. I don't know. We'll see. Some sort of pathway. I don't know if anybody's really, honestly, it seems like no one really wants this stuff. They all say they want to fix it. Um, bring back Andrew Jackson.
Old Hickory, if I recall correctly.
He was not a pleasant person from my history classes.
Yeah.
He was not. He beat someone with a stick, I think. And
It was a simpler time back then.
yeah. Let's see. During his first term, Trump frequently urged the Fed to cut rates aggressively. Yeah, that's why he's going to force Jerome Powell to quit or fire, whatever you want to call it. Jerome Powell is going to be gone. And he'll put his own person in that position that'll do whatever he says, and they'll just start cutting rates, right? What happens if they keep cutting rates, though, and inflation spikes? So we'll see. Cause and effect here.
Yep.
But if he triggers some sort of semi-mini recession, and then that'll help maybe keep inflation down, ironically, so I don't know. So he could do what he wants and lower, the cost of money, just not in a way that you expected. Yeah. What is so far, the US dollar is soaring, is it? Let's see. Oh, it is up. Holy smokes.
Yep.
Okay. So far the dollar is getting stronger. Okay. Go to meet Kevin, and he will explain to you why the dollar got stronger and how you can benefit from it.
Oh no, not the Forex trading.
Yeah. VIX. Oh wow, look at the VIX tanked.
Yep.
Holy shit. So that spike is nuts, isn't it? Look at this.
Oh
thing.
yeah. I went from like nothing to just hi.
Wasn't there a guy in Wall Street Bets that was had huge amount of options on the VIX when this happened?
Probably there almost
I'm sure.
always is. Yeah, like it's
God
it's
bless
almost like
America. If you
yeah.
if you saw this coming, like good job. I'm happy for you.
Yeah, it's almost like clockwork. Eventually, there's someone on FinTwit with like a bad take on the VIX. Or
Yeah,
what
so
makes up the
volatility's
VIX.
down.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Uncertainty is fading. Risk on. So the stock market likes Trump being president so far. So all signs are rosy for now. Compressing macros, constructive policy expectations are pro-growth. Yeah, because lower taxes, he wants lower inflate. Yeah,
Lower rates, all that.
lower rates.
Yeah.
The mindset. Wait, who wrote this article? The mindset. Buy now, ask questions later. So people like that he won. Okay, wait, how did China do? Because he's talking about more tariffs on China than the rest of the world. I mean, okay. So 7-8% down. So be it.
Yep.
So cut taxes, tariffs, regulation. Yeah. So that's where I'm thinking. It's like, how do we benefit from Trump being the president? So I'm thinking, number one, mergers are back on the table, boys.
Oh yeah, Lena Khan, her days are numbered.
M&A's back on the table. So every company you think that wanted to buy someone else, game on. So that's on. Yeah, dude, they're gonna gut the SEC. Any cases the SEC has against anyone, it's just gonna go away all of a sudden. Like all those companies that got their friggin' valuations marked by a case. Like, sorry, okay, like I don't know, MPW, but and I had said election night, although I wish I thought about it like the day before, but Biden has been going after like Medicare reimbursement rates. Does he have a direct, effect on these things? Not really, but the presidents can push their policy. But they've been trying to really go after Medicare rates of reimbursement, and that has hurt the medical establishment. So
Oh yeah,
I mean, makes you think about an investment like this. And obviously the market is kind of thinking the same as me because look what happened.
yep, already happened.
It's kind of already happened. As soon as Trump
Mhm.
won, like, people were already on it when I was thinking about it election night, and they were already, maybe they had those positions already. So medical, so those fights are going to go away. Let's say also they were going to start doing negotiating drug prices through Medicare. So you could look at who were they negotiating with, what that top 10 list was. I looked at some of it, and they were a lot of the really big farm companies that I'm not really interested in owning. And I don't think that's such a direct benefit. Those types of companies.
Yeah,
This would be a better play, I think, on that thesis. Or Humana. Like I talked about this. Like the market really like this too on the news because they are directly affected by those rate reimbursements, and they've been getting punished. Biden's little campaign has really crippled this company. So if that goes away, this could be an interesting trade next year, I think. It kind of makes me think about actually I'm going to think about it.
mm,
I want to look more at what their business is exactly, how much of it's impacted by the government. But I think this could be an interesting play on Trump. Um, this maybe in United Health, maybe a combo or some smaller medical reimbursement type companies. So I don't think he's going to fight on this front at all. Not the same. Let's see. Cigna. I don't want to touch that because I'm sad. I feel bad. Centene got crushed for fears of Obamacare cuts. Wait, what is that company? Oh, publicly traded managed care company in Louisiana, media sponsored private insurance company. Oh wow.
yeah.
So they are not. Nobody likes them apparently. Oh, okay. So some of their reimbursements are based on Obamacare. Okay, I get it now. Not just Medicare reimbursements. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's why you got to be really careful in this space. Yeah. So we will see. I think we covered this. Yeah. So we'll see if the tariffs come in.
Yep.
If you tariff them, they tariff us back, right? So, well, other than that, housing, I mean, he's going to push lower rates. I've been talking till I'm friggin' blue in the face about housing. I think it's still very interesting and viable.
Mhm.
Oh, we'll see. The wrong people have Mr. Cooper and the right people have cabinetry. So, our company's
I
been
see what
getting
you did there.
crunched, but housing has not come back this fall. So I kind of expected master brands to go down a bit.
Yeah, it's fine. It can just sit. Like it's one that I don't feel the urge to babysit it.
I think if you're going to buy a housing investment, you should be in it from now until third quarter next year, minimum. And if you don't want to hold it for that long, then don't even worry about it.
Yeah,
I
there
don't
are
think
other
housing is.
things.
I don't think housing is a trade. You need like a year.
Mm.
So more like a swing. But yeah, I will stay there. Let's see. Oh, he already put that. Okay. Last thing.
25 bips. Oh, okay.
Was there something I was supposed to talk about and I didn't?
Based off the title, there was Fred Rate Drop and House Hack, as well as this.
Oh, we can make fun of House Hack at the end.
All right, cool, cool.
So Fed rate drop, they just did 25
Yep.
basis points. So
Everybody party.
oh, we didn't mention so banks. That's the big
Oh
one of the
yeah.
biggest winners that a lot of people are suspecting, banks and financials, which actually financials have already done really well this year.
Hmm.
I think they're like the second best performing sector.
Yeah.
It's was it consumer discretionary or no communication,
Hmm.
utilities, and that sector. So and financials. I mean, banks should do well under Trump, right? So he could lower some of their, capital restrictions, less regulation. He could just not fill certain regulatory bodies. Just decide he doesn't want to put anybody there. So, I mean, financials might. I mean, Goldman Sachs you could look at if we're going to have a lot of M&A activity and IPOs. So, yeah, financials is not. I'm not the person to come to for that. So, it's an interesting place to look, though. Uh, I guess SoFi. Maybe you want to take a stab at SoFi. I still don't like the company, but it might be their time to shine, I guess. I mean, I would take more of a swing if I was going to get into fintech. I would go for like a firm. Like if I was going to put money in fintech, I don't want SoFi. Like a firm could just double, right? Thing's a lunatic stock. But I was just going to say, so it was funny that I kind of expected they were going to go down on this earnings.
No, really.
Yeah, because the organic growth, they literally told us when it dropped down to like 70s when I bought it, they're like, this is not a good year for us. They said we don't expect to normalize till next year, right? They had inventory, they had too much inventory. Customers scaled back their orders on the cooling systems that they were. So they're like, our customers didn't cancel the orders, they just delayed it because they, for various reasons, didn't want to go forward with these very expensive projects. So then they had to manage their inventory and backlog. So that's why last quarter got punished. So organic growth wasn't going to be there. So I didn't think anything, I didn't think they do well because it kind of run up. The valuation was getting kind of lunatic for something that doesn't single digit organic growth numbers. But holy shit, did they knock the price of the stock has like gone crazy the last week. And I think it's mostly just this. So you see their sales have rebounded because this is kind of,
Yep.
this is what I was talking about.
Mhm.
Like their sales dipped, which was the good time to buy it. Organic sales, 4 point. Yes, this is exactly what they told us. Organic sales are meh across the whole company. But then you look, this is their data center business, BASX, which they acquired. Fucking crazy. 58% growth year on year. Wow. So this is their data center cooling business anyways. If people here that have not talked to me about this company, um, there is a video on it. If you're in cap mindset, there is one of the older videos. I hope if he labeled it properly. So holy crap, 58% growth year on year on their data center cooling business. Amazing. And they have nothing but positive things to say about that business. So they don't have, and what's exciting, like they don't have a true competitor in this space. Like there's no company that does like this, that maybe some private players, but you could tell me some of the other, like Carrier, it's not the same. It's not customized systems. And then there's the liquid cooling, but it's a different type of cooling system. So they're kind of in a unique position to benefit from data centers. Part sales growth, I mean, that's going to keep going. That shows the strength of their channels. So, and I think that'll help with margins eventually. You'll see this reflected in the margins. But I'm very happy with this. I wish I'd put more in it, I guess. as I put about a Honda Civic's worth of money into it. So, um, yeah, I mean they do a good job controlling their costs, and I am happy. I don't know. That's about it. Now, here's Crocs. Do we enter Crocs again?
Uh, nah, don't know. Where's it at? Oh, there it is.
You must tell me.
Oh, for me, I've oh shoot. Um,
I still own it, actually.
I know I was gonna say I still own it too. It's just it's
I
just
don't
one
know.
where yeah,
I just I don't want to sell it.
I don't either. Like to me, it's one where thankfully someone else has pointed out some interesting things to highlight for cause of concern. Um, his name may or may not rhyme with Hayden.
He's still in it?
Yeah, he's still in it, and he actually like expanded upon the earnings call
Okay.
in the write up in Capital Mindset,
Oh, I'll have to
which
check
was
that out
nice.
then.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was a comment. Like you might have to do just a tad bit of scrolling, but
Basically,
not a crazy
Bacon and Hayden are the only people that know Crocs, people.
amount.
Don't
I
talk to
wouldn't go
anyone
that
else.
far.
That's it.
I would
Anyone
definitely
else's
not go that far.
opinion doesn't matter.
No. It seems like there were plenty of people that had their eyes on it. Some of the interesting takeaways that he noted was it seems like the core Crocs brand for North America was a bit concerning as the sales growth seems to have stalled. Uh, and if you were worried that Hey Dude's growth plans are not going to happen either, in North America or internationally or ever, then you probably want to get out.
Mhm.
But like it seems like Crocs North America for now is just cash cow status, which is fine. It's just that now, depending on how Hey Dude goes, if margins go down and you don't see any of sort of like good top line growth or bottom line improvement, something might be wrong that is concerning. He did note also that in his opinion that the management team has been on the more optimistic side relative to other management teams,
Mhm.
and with them being cautious about the roughly upcoming year-ish guidance, might be a little cause for concern. But again, like to my knowledge, though, I don't think he said that he's gotten out. I don't know what exactly his plan is as far as if it goes down more, what he wants to do.
Yeah,
Uh,
margins
s-
are compressing.
yeah. So speaking for myself, it's fine. I'll just probably sit on my hands for another quarter or two, see what they do. I mean, they
Me
have been
too, for
buying
sure.
back and they have been trimming down the debt. Uh,
Yep,
so
debt's coming down, inventory is stable,
yeah,
cash flows, okay.
so it's to me,
Repurchase
it's
stock still going.
yeah, yeah. They've still been buying back. So to
On
me, it's
I don't see any reason to sell a company. I
same.
mean,
Like
I think you're gonna do just fine if you own this thing for 10 years. I think it's gonna be fine.
yeah,
And
like they're
like, it's even if the growth isn't there, like, they have really good free cash flow that
mhm,
they can deploy to just buy shares back
yeah,
if
and
they
the
don't have
manage
any better prospects, like buying another crappy shoe brand.
yeah, I was gonna say if they do buy and like do another meaningful acquisition, I'm out. But yeah, like the management team has at least recognized the power of returning capital to shareholders, and
No, I agree. If
yeah,
they
this
do
is fine.
another merger,
Yeah,
the
then
only merger I would agree with is if they bought that bag company I told you about that does, like, Crocs bags.
oh yeah.
What the hell was it called? I don't even remember now.
I forgot, but
Started with a B, I think. I would love them to buy that. I wonder if it would come up if you put Crocs bags. Um, I swear it started with a B. Wait, this. Yeah, right here.
ah,
Why the hell do they not buy this company? Or why didn't they buy this over Hey Dudes?
yeah,
This was
I don't
there
know.
for them to buy. It
Yeah.
literally is the same. It goes perfectly in line with what Crocs is doing. And they could have done backpacks and purses and fanny pack. I don't know. This opened up so many interesting ideas, I think. Um, Man, I don't know. Yeah, look at this freaking NFL logoed bags,
Yep.
like beach toe. I think like this would be. I don't know why they won't buy this. I'm really confused. I don't know. Maybe they just can't. But this is it. Any other merger, I would be like, yeah, f you, I'm out.
Yep.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Um,
So you know,
like if
again,
they tried to buy like Birkin sandals or some stupid thing, like oh
mm,
my god. But yeah,
yeah.
we'll see.
So
Okay.
some metrics definitely cause for concern, but at the same time though, like part of me is willing to be relatively forgiving, like say for example on the margin compression, because the margins were really good, and when you're
Yeah, for a
like
shoe company, really
yeah,
damn
like
good.
yeah, when you're at really damn good levels, like a little squeeze, it's not like you're not happy, but like I'm inclined to be a little forgiving.
I mean,
Uh,
I still think it's a $200 company, a
yeah,
share.
yeah,
That's kind of where I'm at. So I mean, people can draw their $100 if you think it's a $200 stock,
yeah, yeah.
right?
So it's
It's an interesting point. Like this is an interesting thing to look at right now. People watching.
yeah.
So
Yeah, I was irresponsibly allocated at first, but thankfully before this earnings call, I have it at a more responsible position.
look
So
at this crazy thing.
yeah, that thing. Good God, you hit this one out of the park.
Look at this. What was the last earnings? I think it was this because it
Yeah,
was a
somewhere in
sharp
there.
drop.
Yep.
I think it was this spike. It was 100 and then it dropped. I'm not sure now.
Yeah. Don't
I'd have to
don't
go
fight
look.
Dan on HVAC companies.
No, this was it. I think this was it, wasn't it? Because it dropped in the 70s. Yeah, when I bought it. Yeah, this was the drop. I think it was May. I'll go look, but um, I've been eyeballing this company for
Oh yeah, yeah,
years because this
yep.
was the perfect complement to Carrier and Tran
Mm.
because they do they different takes on this industry. I now kind of have like those three companies give me basically full breadth of HVAC in general, so I'm feeling pretty good about it. I kind of wish I just put all my money in all three of those and just freaking put my hands up. Honestly, it's such an awesome thesis. Like it's going to play out so well the next decade. So, anyways, I love that no YouTuber talks about these companies. It's my favorite. Like no one talks about Carrier or Tran. Leave my fucking company. You shut your dirty mouth, me Kevin. All right. Wait, last okay, I said meat.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Speaking of, great segue.
I just like this makes me laugh. Like I'm so glad that Chris is doing videos on him now. It's like all's right in the world that Strongman's doing videos on Meet Kevin. Oh, but like reading through like my last video, I did a dual stream with Fabio. Like the house hack bonds is so stupid. It's so stupid. Like basically, like Meet Kevin's found a way. You're going to give him money, and he never has to give you your money back. The way he's designed this whole house hack business, he never has to give you your money back. And then you've given him full power over what he does with the convertible bonds. If you read that the actual filing for that stupid 5% bond thing, you don't have the decision about converting it or not. It's all about Kevin. Kevin's the whole board because he owns all the voting shares. So no one's even on the board to fight for you. There's literally, you're on an island by yourself if you give Kevin your money. There's no one to help you. Like I completely losing all decision making. And I was going to pull up during that video I did with Fabio, like Tesla did a convertible debt issuance, I think in 2017, because I was trying to find like a comparison of some type that made sense. So Tesla did a convertible bond issuance, but you could convert them, right? It wasn't only Tesla's decision. Like the bondholders could decide to convert them to shares. And difference, the shares were listed publicly already, right? So it was a publicly traded company. So you could decide to convert to shares yourself. The company, I think, could also. Uh, but again, it was a free market. So like to be convertible to shares of a non-traded asset is so okay. Like the other thing bugs me. Do you notice how like he keeps changing the terms of all the debt instruments that he's offering in his videos? He'll be like, some people had questions about this thing, and we thought about it, and then we changed the terms of those filings for this and that. Like he's always so willing to change the terms on these agreements. But if you think about it, if all he cares about is getting the money from your pocket to his pocket, and he knows he never has to pay you the money back, Why doesn't he? Yeah, of course. Wouldn't you just offer them whatever they want to, whatever you would just offer, whatever? Like, what do you care? He'll change the terms of any agreements as long as you give him money, and he's not required to give it back to you ever. So your best shot is if it goes public, and then somebody in the public will give you the money, when the shares go listed. But this is terrible. Terrible. And then like it was so awesome. Chris showed like the filings, like he's losing money hand over fist, and it's not even showing the jet expense. I'm sure he's not charging the jet to this thing, even though you should be charging the expenses of the jet to House Hack, right? If he was going public and these had to be audited statements, but I guarantee you that'd be a problem, because you're underrepresenting the expenses of this company. So,
Should
I mean,
be
if you want,
I
like, I don't
would
know.
imagine it passes the materiality threshold given the
My God,
size of this thing.
I would love to audit him. I'd rip him apart. But anyways,
Good old Ryan Macbeth.
well, where is his? Okay, here's Ryan Mc. I just want to like, where's his company? I think it's Arrow something.
Oh yeah. He's got a small little company that.
Yeah, here it is.
Yep.
So he's taking accredited investors for this. So it is a drone company that will deliver medical supplies in a war zone. And it's like, if you are an accredited investor, and the idea of these investments, right, they're very speculative. That's why they have to be accredited, because there's a good chance you'll never get your money back. So they want to make sure that you can financially handle that. So it's like, you might get, most likely you will never see your money back, or you might 50 or 100 extra your money. That's what these things are. Like, the chances of any sort of positive movement on Kevin's whole business of buying properties and then you rent them. It's like, come on, dude. It's a shit business. It's just a shit business. You have to believe Kevin has some sort of magic to make that work. And it's still, the margins on those businesses suck. Like Open Door is about to freaking go bankrupt, and they do like they do like flipping, right? But he's like, well, we don't flip properties, so he doesn't have to prove that he's making money on these houses. Another thing he's doing, he doesn't have to prove that he's buying these houses at good prices, because he can just show the cash flow. Then he'll show you the cash flow before interest, taxes, right? He'll claim he's cash flow positive, even though he's not factoring in depreciation of the asset, which is bullshit. But like this is something, like, if you're going to be putting money into an accredited speculative investment, this could work out really well. I could see a defense company buying into this. Like if Lockheed Martin bought them out, or they get one government contract, these small military contractors can do really well. They just need that one shot. Like, what's the example that, is it RCAT? Is it the drone company, right?
Possibly. I want to say
make
so.
sure. I want to make sure. Yeah. So like this is a drone company, military space. They got one contract with the Pentagon, right? And then they were trying to get a bigger version of that contract. So that one contract, now look what it did to the share price.
Yeah.
So like, if you're going to be doing accredited investing, this is interesting. Like, I don't know if it's a good investment, but I mean, at least it would be something interesting if you want to get into an accredited investment opportunities, not freaking buying houses and renting them. But anyways, I don't know if this is anything interesting to people, but anything drone related is kind of interesting.
Oh yeah. Yeah, especially when you know and identify your niche. And
yeah, this was another. I didn't mention this. I did see this in the filing for the bond. I didn't mention it though, but he specifically states in there most of the properties are in California, because that's where his expertise is. So he's saying House Hack is run on this artificial intelligence software that helps him find deals across huge parts of the country, and that gives him competitive advantage. But then like also in the filing says he buys stuff in California because that's what he's comfortable buying in that market. So you were very hyper, you're concentrated in California, which is depopulating like crazy right now. People are fleeing the country, and they're not, but California's always lost people. It's just they'd use immigration to fill it back up, so it's a problem right now. Let's see what else. Poor house hack investors. I mean, they'll never like I don't know how you get your money back. Um, I don't see how if he stays accredited or if he stays in the where he is now, he doesn't have to have financials that are audited, put out to the public, like as a publicly traded company. If he was a publicly traded company, he couldn't own the entire. Right now he's like the whole board. He has all the voting shares. That wouldn't fly. He'd have to have people on the board that would challenge him of some sort of way. So he's not going public. This is not happening. You're not getting your money back, people. I don't say whatever. He can promise you everything. Oh yeah, the promise. Remember that he promised that you he promised that you won't lose money on this with his own personal assets. But it's like if House Hack goes belly up, how do you think he's going to have assets separate from House Hack going belly up that he can give you money back? Or he'll just flee the country or something on his jet. But pretty sure he's going to find a way to keep the money in his pocket and not give it back to you bondholders. So, and he won't disclose his financials as part of that guarantee. Specifically said that in the bond issuance. He will not show his financials, even though he's guaranteeing the debt. So you have no way of confirming if he can guarantee it. And I think the guarantee is more a line of credit from JP Morgan. Because there is a line of credit. I think that's what the guarantee is, not even his money, which is funny. But
thanks, JP Morgan.
Yeah, fucking people. It's such an uninteresting bit. Like that arrow system. That's interesting if you're going to do some sort of accredited private investment. Like that's something you can wrap your head around, seeing how it makes sense. Like that you could do really well with it. Not freaking house rentals.
Oh yeah. No, I mean, hell, it's had a crazy run up, and I'm not necessarily advocating for it, but we never necessarily bashed the whole Palantir thing, as in like, I don't get it, I don't see it. Like, it looks optically expensive, pretty darn rich. At the same time, though, like I could at least understand the story.
Yeah,
I could wrap my head around the story. But
someone said in Chris's stream, they asked, is there any AI investment that actually is making money? Which I thought was a really interesting question, because you kind of think about like, okay, if you take out the data center builders from let's take the data center construction companies. So that's like the HVAC companies I'm in, the Sterlings, the people that sell the GPUs. Okay, let's put them aside. Like companies that are actually like running AI and making like an AI system making money from it. I mean, I don't like Microsoft has AI features, but it's mostly just tacked onto the subscription service they already had.
Yeah, so the accounting would be a little.
I guess really the answer is Palantir, right? They make money with artificial intelligence, with AI software.
The other nebulous box that I struggle, but I can kind of wrap my head around is maybe a CrowdStrike or Salesforce rather. Sorry, Salesforce.
Okay. Yeah, fair.
Like maybe again, I'm speaking out of ignorance here. So
like we don't know yet if Salesforce is.
Yeah.
I think it's too early.
Yeah.
They've probably implemented some features, but I don't think you can say that that's profitable yet. But the answer, like, that's not really the question. Is like the question is when's the music going to stop on companies dumping funds into this research and development and capex into these data centers?
Yeah.
So you're these people are like, oh, at some point there's going to be a bubble and companies will just stop dumping money into these unprofitable ventures. It's like, but you don't want to be the only guy in that tech space not doing it. That's the problem. Like Zuckerberg is not going to stop. They're just going to keep plowing money in it. Who knows when it stops? But I don't think unprofitability is the thing that stops data center construction. So we'll see. I mean, OpenAI announced they were losing a lot of money, and that's going to be one of the biggest IPOs in history when that goes out. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not about profits right now. It's about like market share. I think this early in the game, that's what matters.
Yeah, that market share and top line. We're back, baby.
Yeah, profitability is later on in the maturity curve of a company. Right now,
Yeah.
you're top line growth, market share, right? That's what matters in these spaces. So, who's going to capture the AI search business, right? Do you really care what their margins are at this point, people? It's like, no, you want the one that's going to capture 50, 60% of that market. Doesn't matter what the margins are. Nobody cared about streaming companies' margins the first, 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
It was how many subscribers you got. That's all
Mhm.
that mattered, right? Now we care because we're later on, but buy my course. Wait, just buy SoFi Ryu,
Yep.
26.9 by price. Oh God. Buy my course. I mean, SoFi, someone said they were going to short SoFi a month or two ago. I'm like, I think it'll do decently well, actually, if the short term. So I was like, I wouldn't bet
Yeah.
against them right now.
Yeah. If you're going to do anything like that, position size accordingly, because the meme expression has a lot of merit to it, and that would be what, like, going bearish. You're probably wrong, like 99 out of 100 days, and then that one day something happens. If assuming you're even right at all. So tough game, not for everyone.
Yeah, and I could see a growth investor looking he just had missed out on Aeon. I could see a growth investor looking at Aeon, and if you don't know the nuance of an HVAC company like this, you look, oh, organic growth 4%. That's a shit business. I'm out. I'm like, well, there's more under the covers with that. It's a very promising industry. They're very uniquely situated. They don't have really specific competitors, I would say, and it's very high quality business. No, I guess it doesn't matter, right? If you just want to be strictly about growth, then just go buy SCHG, I guess, but you'd be fine. Oh, here's Dex. Rub it
Yeah.
in.
Yep. Yep. The man who's had at least three things like smacked out of the park.
I
Just
mean, it's not really rub in. I've never really bashed Palantir.
yeah.
I've always said it's an interesting investment.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
I
Yeah,
bashed
like it
SoFi to death, but I thought
yeah.
Palantir was interesting.
Yeah, I've highlighted like concerns as to why Palantir is not for me, but again, story wise, like I can kind of wrap my head around it.
I get it.
Yeah.
I'm just I'm more interested in other military companies.
Yeah.
It's
It's
just I don't have to
not my
buy
style.
everything. No.
Yeah.
Jeremy looks like a genius banking on Palantir. Thing is, he bought a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So he just throws money at all these, stocks people talk about, and then the ones that do well, he highlights, and then
Very
magically the
dead.
ones that don't do well get deleted. So, and he shows you he's got to throw that one that did work out. I don't know. I don't know what his allocation is in Palantir. It's probably not a lot. Oh well, okay. Hour and 20.
Yep.
Anything else?
Not off the top of my head.
You know what we need to do now? The story of Sonder.
Oh, that one?
It's about time now because I think it's kind of done now.
Oh. Alrighty.
At some point,
Because like I never like allocated Sonder anywhere near as heavy as other people
no.
because I was too focused on something else that ended up working okay enough.
It was very I learned a lot from that too.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Desperate companies do desperate things, and
Hmm.
sometimes other businesses make shitty deals
Yep.
that don't make sense. So, um, yeah, that's another freaking that's an hour. Oh my god, to talk about the craziness of what happened.
That would be
But
an entire ballad.
Death to Marriott. Oh. But we're both in B. Riley again, so
Yeah, but like fairness on that one though, like for me, it's like barely anything, especially compared to the first wave that
yeah,
I.
it's not. I
Yeah,
never
yeah,
go
it's
back at it as hard the first time
yeah,
whenever I do these things. So
yep.
the franchise group went bankrupt, so it's not going to be the death yet. But hey, the death was supposed to be the investigations, but now Trump's in.
Yep.
But numbers are numbers. They don't have enough assets to get these debts. But then again, things can happen.
Mm.
Somebody can come in and to help them. They can renegotiate their debts. So I don't know. I kind of enjoy the ride.
Oh yeah,
So I'll
yeah,
be in it for the second run is never as much as the first, but
yeah. This for me, this is like a minuscule third run, and the second one had a little bit more in it.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
are with Mark Cahotas, ride or die. I love that
On this
guy.
particular one, yeah, that his lungs are interesting
But now, like,
to be determined.
I'm all the way. I'm like as far out as I could on my put. So
Yeah.
um, I'm just here for the ride at this point. I want. We already celebrated the big drop. Now we'll have like the death of the company drop. Oh well. Okay.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So
Yep.
enjoy football tomorrow. I got to figure
Yeah.
out who I'm gonna do on my Survivor Eliminator tomorrow.
Best of
I gotta
luck.
think about. I really want to pick the Giants, but they scare me to death. So I'm gonna think about it after this. Um, yeah, I'm still in it. Friggin', I think it's down to. Let me look. I think we're down to like 32 out of 3,000.
Wow.
Yeah, it's terrifying. There's a lot of money on the line. I like my odds. I have a lot of good teams left to pick from. So yeah, it's
That
been a
is
tough.
impressive of a
I mean,
ratio.
I've gotten to week 4 crazies. I've gotten to like the 14th week, and and like half the people are still in it.
Oh, okay.
This year is just mind blowing how it went.
Yeah.
Where just like every week it was like 50% of the people in the league got booted for like teams that like lost out of the blue. Like when the Raiders beat the Ravens.
Mm.
So I don't know. I'm gonna think about it. I gotta set my NFL bets tomorrow too. So anyways,
Yep.
enjoy the night.
Yep. You too.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Stay tuned. I don't know what the next video will be yet. Figure it out. All right, bye.